Hello and welcome to Rick's RC Flying Channel. This is episode 19 of the Giant Sweet and Low build. Now the airplane has been painted with epoxy paint. The product name is Class Coat and it's a satin finish. And this video is about painting the various artwork onto the airplane. So the next step is the wings, which will receive the crosses as well, both on the top and bottom of the wing, and how it was applied. So let's get started. So I'm painting the trim work on the Giant Sweet and Low, and the fuselage is, for the most part, is done with the trim work, and of course very typical of having the black cross on a white background. I'm doing the wing a little bit different, sort of reversing things a bit, but still having the black cross, which is just a template. And to prevent any overspray damage, what I like using is plastic material. This is basically just a painter's drop sheet, but very, very thin. And I like it because you can really easily wrap it around any kind of shape, and does a great job in preventing any of the overspray going someplace you don't want it to go. So I've got already the white background established. So I'm just opening it up, and basically what I do is I just use very carefully using a very sharp X-Acto knife. You got to be careful. So there we go. We've got the area we want to work with is opened up. So now comes the most important part, actually, is plotting the artwork. The fact that I'm using paint, it's basically a one-shot deal. It's not like having a vinyl decal that you can remove if something doesn't work out properly. That's why I use cardboard templates to help visualize and plot the design that I'm looking for. So also the fact that the wing actually bears four crosses, two on the bottom and the two on the top, uh, you're always challenged with the fact that you really got to double check all your measurements and all the areas that the artwork is going so it all looks exactly the same. It's not as if you're just doing one section of artwork and that's it. When you look at the top of the wing, they both better be precisely the same or you'll easily pick up on it. So that being said, there's a lot of measuring that I do, um, to make sure I get it right. I use dividers a lot, and I then cross-check and double-check um, all the measurements and compare it to both sides. Now the bottom of the wing, the artwork has been completed, and I'm just going to double check some measurements here. And ultimately it's a sport aircraft that sort of looks like an Endecker. I thought I'd have a little fun with the artwork on the wing. Instead of a black cross on a white background, I reversed everything, and it just really stands out. So I'm just picking up a few extra measurements to make sure that the top artwork is precisely the same. Now, once I'm satisfied that all the artwork checks out symmetrically, it's time to start masking it. And right now I'm just sealing up the open boxed area. And once that's done, I'll be masking the black square. And for the white cross, I'll be using a Frisket material and actually making a stencil with it. And normally I used to always cut them out by hand, the stencil, but I've been doing it for a while now with the laser. It is far superior with respect to accuracy and also saves a lot of time. Now, Frisket stencils can be used more than once, the same one. However, I'm really reluctant to do that because I'm always concerned that after you use them more than once, there's a risk of the paint leaking under the stencil, and of course that would be a real major problem. So I cut a new one out for, in this particular case, for each cross. So now I'm removing the stencil and just plotting it. I have various pencil markings and I'm just lining everything up. Very important to smooth out the stencil, making sure there's no bubbles or ridges. It's very, very important that it's precisely positioned. Now the Frisket has a sticky back to it, and it'll adhere to the surface, no problem. Yet it'll allow you to lift it up, and you know how many times you have to reposition it. And that's why it can actually be reused. You can actually take it off and then plot it somewhere else. But like I mentioned before, I'm rather reluctant to do it that way. Once the artwork is in the exact position, now what I'm doing is I'm checking all the edges to make sure that there are no wrinkles, no ridges, no bubbles, and that the edges are adhering to the surface. If any area were to lift up, then the paint will leak under that and you'll have quite a problem dealing with that. So I go over it many times just to make sure whether it's the masking tape, which of course is part of the new square that will be painted on, and then of course the stencil. I check it over and over again, and there are times even there's a risk of it lifting up a little bit later on. So even before painting it, I do a final check because again, as I mentioned before, it's basically a one-shot deal. So now the paint process begins, and I'm just doing a little bit of layering here, trying to establish how many layers I think I might need. And then I'll be sealing the edges. You can actually see the outline of the cross taking place. And you see me pushing it down there. There's actually a little section of the stencil was threatening to come up. And of course, that's sort of a nerve-wracking situation because you don't know now, did the paint actually already leak under that edge? And by doing the outline, the edges first, it helps start to seal the edge. And it depends also the type of paint you're using. But I usually recommend doing the edges of your artwork. There it is again, threatening to come up that one spot there. And I'm just trying to tack it down. So it's a little bit of a nerving situation for me right now because I really don't know, did the paint go under there? Now comes the time to see how it all works out. And I gave my epoxy about 90 minutes to set. And, of course, I check it and just to make absolutely sure that it is cured enough for me to safely remove the tape. And so now I'm just removing the outer perimeter. I use an X-Acto blade to remove the actual artwork, you'll see. And you got to be careful removing a stencil, especially the shape like of the cross. And I sort of work from different corners. I don't pull it off right through the center section, and you kind of see what I mean here. And of course, this is always the moment you wait for is um, what is it going to look like? There we are. You see I pick another corner very carefully with an X-Acto knife, and I work each one up separately. And there we go. And it was worked out really well. This is the one where I had a little bit of it lifting up there, so I just can't wait to pull it off and see what I'm left with. Now, when I get to the masking tape that actually is the edge of the painted area, I pull it at about roughly a 45-degree angle away, and I pull it up about 30 degrees, and that's what I always use, and I've always had really good success with my edges. I really can't think of a time where I've had an edge fail. Now, anytime I remove the frisket material, I always use an X-Acto blade and very precisely lift up the masking of it. I don't use a fingernail or anything else, and this way I control the lifting of the stencil. So everything turned out good, absolutely no leaking, very, very precise. So I've got all four, the two on the top, two on the bottom, so I'm very pleased with that. Well, the sweet and low is basically getting closer and closer to being finished. Now that all the paint work is done, all the artwork is applied, so we've got the top and we've got the bottom. And really the only thing now left to do, because all the flight controls, everything is hooked up and operational, is the front end of the airplane, which is the engine installation, hooking up the fuel system and glow driver, getting the cowling on. And really then basically, after the engine is run in and set up, she'll be ready for a main flight. There'll be a separate series on just the cockpit build for the sweet and low, and that'll be forthcoming later on in the year. So if you have any questions or comments, like always, I welcome them. If you like the video, please select like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.